Baby, let's just dance, dance. Let's just dance, baby. I just wanna dance, 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 dance. Can you feel it? Can you take it? Can you come and breathe it? All of this electricity, do it right now, right now. Turn the volume up loud, give me your electricity.
Welcome back to the bar. It's the two bitches from your childhood. I'm bitch number one, Christy.
I'm bitch number two, Kelly.
Maybe you should be bitch number one. Are you a bigger bitch?
No.
I feel like you could be a bigger bitch.
I don't think so.
I don't know. I
I'm
think
way
it's
nicer than you.
I don't know. I think it depends on the week.
Yeah.
I think that we could definitely go back and forth for the top spot. So
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe in this episode, you're bitchier than me. I'm very well
maybe.
behaved in this episode.
Oh my God, I hate this episode.
I don't hate this episode. So we're on totally different pages.
Shit, you weren't even in it.
I was in it.
Not too much.
I was in it.
Being an idiot.
Well, you're
Meanwhile,
not being you're not being an idiot.
Oh, but I look like an idiot. But now you know that, like, we'll just get into it.
We'll get into it. We'll get into it. But before
so aggravating.
I know. I was watching it and I was like, oh, Kelly has
shoot
to
myself.
shoot herself.
I'm telling you. Fuck me.
Well,
Yeah.
before we get into it, let us start by thanking our Patreons. If you are not a
Yay.
member of Patreon, you can join us over at patreon.com/backtothebar for exclusive content. You're going to get our after party. You're going to get video content. You're going to get never before seen photos of things that went on back when we were filming video, all of the above. So it's a good time over there on Patreon. And we are still catching up with all of our subscribers. So bear with me as I read through the list. So first we have Lords, Owen, Maggie, Zoe, Jade, Bean. Is that Clara? Bean, Shay, Rachita, Saskia, Zoe, Zach, Lindsay, Sasha, Caroline, Madison, Spicy Sabs Roll. What is a spicy Sabs Roll?
I don't know.
Victoria, Brittany, Allie, Caitlin, Tara, Kennedy, Christina, Chloe, Caitlin, Colin, Elsie, Gabrielle, Kasha, Megan, Haley, Corey, Grace, Zach, Ariana, Melissa, Caroline, Michaela, Samantha, Brianna, Leslie, Sydney, Elizabeth, Peggy, Caitlin, Sierra, Montserrat, Katie, Colm, Samantha, Madeline, Hannah, Kaylee, Jaslyn, Brooke, Molly, Michelle, Riley, Jenna, Erica, Gabby, Lexi, Garrett, Annie Wong, Shannon, Xavier, Caitlin, wow, Danielle, Gemma, Rebecca, Gabby, Emily, Mary, Emmett, Joe, Amber, Ashley, Olivia, Miranda, Quintasha, Katrina, Maureen, Madison, Bridget, Megan, Katie, Lindsay, Reagan, Haley, Dayanara, Avery, Alex, McKinley, Sarah, Victoria, Kayla, Angie, Shiloh, Kaylee, Rachel, Kyle, Lauren, Marin, Kara, Tessa, Sierra, Monica, Gabby, Chelsea, Koala C, Daniel, Vanessa, CA, Morgan. That's your doggy.
Yeah.
Grace, Hunter, Martin, Jackie, Hannah, Charlie, Meg, Jordan, Mary, Francesca, Brittany, Cassie, Ayana, Liz, Ashley, Taj, Megan, Nicole, Alyssa, Olivia, Joanna, Jenna, Caroline, Holly, Ayana, Gabrielle, Kayla, Madison, Casey, Madison, Lauren, Emma, Kelsey, Logan, Mariah, Emma, Connor, Peyton, Grace, Kristen, Gabrielle, Lexi, Molly, Michaela, Kendra, Lauren, Jazzy, Brooke, Casey, Taylor, and Hillary. Woo! Thank you so much for joining us.
Holy manolis.
We appreciate you guys. We love you.
Yeah.
And thanks for hanging out with us. So great to have all of you.
I'm both in black today.
I know we are both in black. Fancy. Well, you're wearing actually my favorite dress from the episode.
Oh, yeah.
I know you're already at the top of the pyramid.
I couldn't find the necklace.
Well, it looks pretty.
It's somewhere.
But that is my favorite dress from the episode. Kelly's wearing the black strapless. That's cute.
Yes.
Super cute. Oh boy. Well, I actually am excited to recap this episode because I don't hate it. I know you hate it. So
I hate my life. Yes.
yes. Well, I mean, look, here's your chance to give us every little thought you had. But there's lots of fun BTS of this episode too, because this was our first time in LA. And I do recall a time or two that you and I probably should have been in our hotel room, but we went out.
Yeah.
This is not quite, well, we'll talk about it when we get there.
So it's a lot, Christy.
Yeah,
Not just
I know.
in LA.
Well, I mean, look, you have to explore the area.
We just said that in Vegas last week.
I know.
So like next week we'll be in wherever and we'll be saying the same thing.
There weren't many places to go in Tahoe though.
No.
Tahoe did not have a nightlife.
No, but it was beautiful there. I loved it.
Tahoe was fun, but we'll get there.
My favorite. Yeah.
We'll get there. I was just afraid of bears the whole time, but that's another
God.
story. So this episode, we're on episode, is this 10? I think this is 10.
Yes.
Holy shit. We are going fast now. I know. I can't believe. And it's really funny when you watch this episode, because this is the first episode after we saw the show premiere, and you can totally tell that we stepped up our glam. We looked at it
like, oh my God, we were looking like shit. Not that we're looking any better.
But we at least tried. We tried.
I think I had my worst outfit on I ever had on so far.
In this episode?
Oh my God. Yes. And normally on the episodes, we change our outfits like 4 or 5 times.
Yeah. And we had this one on.
2 outfits on.
Yeah.
That outfit I had on that entire time was the ugliest outfit I think I ever owned in my life.
It wasn't my favorite.
It doesn't even fit.
Yeah, it wasn't my favorite, but hey, look, maybe you ran out of clothes. You never know.
I did.
You never know.
Last week I had to wear the same outfit twice in 2 different colors because I was out of clothes.
Exactly. What are you drinking? Kelly Roofing?
Yeah, no, this is a Diet Coke.
Oh.
In disguise.
In disguise. Kelly has a big koozie that says Kelly Roofing.
Yeah, I'm roofing you.
Please don't. I've been there, done that. Would love to never go back. All right. Well, what's your drink of choice today?
I have a cool drink.
I don't.
But no, it's not really cool. It's called a Say So Skinny Spicy Margarita. But what's cool about it is this. It's a tea bag.
Shut up.
It is a freaking tea bag.
Kelly's teabagging on the pod.
Look, you take you take a tea bag. You see the tea bag?
Yeah.
And it's filled with all this stuff. And you put it in 3 ounces of water.
Okay.
1.5 ounces of whatever alcohol you want. I used tequila left over from Miami still. and you put this tea bag in it and you steep it for 3 minutes. And it's like an amazing margarita.
What's it called? I'm writing it on my notes. Say So?
SAYSO.
Okay,
it's a
Say
skinny
So
margarita. Now they also have, which I wish I would have got. I didn't know what they were going to be like.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, it was a tea bag, and I'm like, I thought it was cool, but they have a rosemary honey Moscow Mule too. I thought.
Oh, I would love that.
So I'm gonna call and order that one too.
Oh, where did you buy that?
Online. I saw it on Facebook.
Oh, they got you with their Facebook ads.
Yes.
I will definitely try that.
Me how I never have any of the ingredients. Well, this is water and tequila.
You have water and tequila.
You don't need soda or tonic water or any of that cranberry juice or any crazy shit that I never have. So
yeah, well, this is perfect for you. That's a poor man's margarita. So you don't have to, or a lazy.
Yummy.
That's actually the lazy bitch.
Yes,
the lazy bitch margarita.
Yes.
Oh, we could patent that. Lazy bitch margarita. I am very boring. Actually, so I made a lemon drop martini, but this is a lot big. It's a lot bigger than a martini glass. I didn't want to have to refill.
Yeah.
I didn't want to have to refill, and I wanted a lot of ice in it. So it's actually probably pretty diluted. But after Miami, 2 days later, I came home and I went to New York with Brittany and Diane, and my liver wants to talk to the manager. Like she is.
Well, yeah, you had to cancel on me filming.
I know. I was
She
so.
texts me and says, "Oh, can we film on Monday? Because like my liver hates me right
Yeah.
now." I'm like, "Oh my God." And I wanted to do it to you today, but here I am
Well,
looking like shit. I have no shower. I am like disgusting because I was at the pool and got fried.
Kelly, it looks
Look
like
at
the
me, I'm like a
3-pound
lobster.
lobsters. You look like a
I'm
3-pound
little more
lobster.
than 3 pounds, but
Well,
oh my God, like my face hurts. And I was only in the sun for like 2.5, 3 hours.
yeah, but
But
3.5 hours in the Florida sun is bad.
Well, yes, and
Didn't you
drinking.
know your friend had skin cancer? You needed to get out of the sun.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Sunscreen. I'm like a sunscreen maniac now, and I never was before, ever. Like
Well,
I never
actually,
needed sunscreen.
I always use sunscreen on my face and my chest, and I didn't have it because I had it in my bag for when we went to
Went
Miami.
to Miami. Yeah.
And when I went, I just totally forgot it. So part of the problem. But whatever.
Well, we're in full recovery mode.
I'm your 300-pound lobster
today. Well, we're definitely in
hungry.
Yeah, I am hungry. I'm starving. But you know what? It'll be fine. So that's actually not a good sign, though, if I'm starving and I'm drinking a martini.
Well, you gotta stop feeding me drinks during the day.
I know. Sorry. Look, this is your job. This is
My job.
This is your job. Your job is to day
drink and talk to you.
Yes. Yep. This is your job. Remember when Randy said you got a job being a bitch?
Yeah. Perfect job for me.
Perfect. So that was always funny because we're like, listen, we got a job drinking and being bitches. Like that is a dream job for most people.
Yes.
Where we would be like, excuse me, can I have a cocktail? And one would appear.
Yeah.
We would just say it right in our microphone. We'd talk to our chest and be like, excuse me, I need a drink. And the next thing you knew, voila, you had one.
It came like a coffee cup.
It was a magical thing. It was wonderful. It was better than Disney World.
I'm very picky about like glasses I drink out of. Like when I go to a restaurant, you have to sit outside and they give you plastic. Like I don't go there because I hate drinking out of plastic cups. And I think that's why is because I always had to drink out of like a McDonald's cup or a coffee cup. And it was like, I knew it was going to lead to torture. So I was kind of like, I don't like those kind of glasses anymore.
Well, in this episode at the end, which I have big notes about, I am chugging out of a mommy juice cup in the dressing room.
I have that on my notes too. I'm like, chug it, Christy.
Literally chugging it. And it's very obviously wine. It is not water. It's like, no. Holy shit.
Yeah, you were thirsty.
I literally said, I must have been really thirsty. Funny.
That was pretty funny. Yeah, I have that in my notes.
Oh, well, let's get into this episode because this is an interesting one. So this is called
it's torture.
Kathy
brings it on.
Again, bitch, I blame you.
You're welcome.
I blame you.
You're welcome.
Premiered September 14th, 2011, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so the episode opens with us pulling up in our kidnapper van per usual. And as we're walking in, you probably didn't notice it, but I had it paused just because I was taking notes. And I'm wearing the most aggressive silver rhinestone wedges in the day. Like they're very aggressive. I'm like,
I actually remember those.
I remember those too because I really like them. Now I wouldn't put those on my feet if you paid me.
Yeah, like why did you wonder why you liked those?
I don't know. I was very much in my disco era, however, so maybe that's why.
Ooh,
yeah,
that's spicy.
So we get to the studio and Abby tells us that this is the studio that Gaga and Spears rehearse in. And I'm looking around and I'm thinking, but it kind of looks like a shithole, but whatever, we're used to shitholes at this point. And Abby is standing there in Pyramid with a fucking whistle. Who gave this woman a whistle?
No, like really, like this is the second time she's had it.
Yes, but we do have to mention that she decided to coordinate her jewelry with the whistle because the whistle string is blue. So she has a blue plastic watch on and blue sneakers.
We coordinated with the whistle.
Mm-hmm.
Lovely.
The whistle was the featured piece.
You know what I liked is whenever we're going in and she says about it for that Britney Spears and Lady Gaga rehearsed there. She's like, there's nothing too good for her girls.
I know.
Okay.
Oh, but she's wearing She's wearing a headband, so
Oh,
please
of course
drink.
she is. Of
And she has
course
that
is.
star ring on.
Mm. I hate
Okay.
drinking out of a glass. I need a straw.
I have my little straw here today, which is actually really helpful because then my lemon stays in place.
Yeah.
So you see us standing in pyramid. And before we even discuss it, my notes said, where's Melissa? Like, I didn't remember Melissa not being there. So obviously Melissa is missing. So it's just you, me, and Holly. But the girls are all standing there. Chloe got the sequin memo, thankfully, in her little dress. But I just couldn't look anywhere other than Nia's big yellow flowers.
I know. She had them in an interview the one day. I was like, woo.
She had little Mickey Mouse ears. Those flowers are big.
They're cute.
Big. And then we find out from Abby that Melissa is with her boyfriend, and she tells Maddie that your mother made a choice. And then she tells us that, you know, all those things that go with motherhood, that Melissa trusts Abby with her children. But
yeah,
I'm about 99% sure their dad was with them.
Yes.
He just wasn't on camera this week.
They just like to make Abby look like she babysits our kids. Like last week we went for ice cream. Like she never watched our kids.
Meanwhile,
nor would we want her to.
No. But if anybody might trust Abby with her kids, it would have been Melissa at this point.
Yeah. But if I would have said I was going away with my boyfriend and wasn't going to Hollywood with my daughter, like
you would have been the worst
I would have been the biggest slut.
Yeah.
Whatever you want to call me and name in the book, I would have been, because I was choosing a man over my daughter.
Right. Holly got her.
It's oh well, she trusts me with her daughter.
Right.
Oh, okay. Me, I would have been
you would have been a slut bucket.
Yes.
Slut bucket.
Yes.
Holly got crap for getting her doctorate and missing the mom dance. We weren't even in Hollywood.
Yeah.
She tortured Nia all week. Your mother doesn't care about you.
For working. Yeah. Just working, not even going to school, working. Like, that's how she pays your bills, you know?
And my boobs are very aggressive in this blue dress, I'd like to point out. And then
mine is very ugly. I pointed out earlier.
Yes. And
ugliest thing I ever saw.
It
was weird. I remember I got that from Macy's, and I do not have that any longer. Thank goodness. You have standards.
Yes. Then Holly tells us that Melissa really should be with Maddie, but she doesn't mention Mackenzie. Abby starts revealing the pyramid, and your two kids are both at the bottom. And really, this is the first time that Abby acknowledges, it could even be the first time that it really coordinates with the mom's behavior and the kids' placement. Because even when I had that big fight, like Chloe wasn't, I don't think, at the very bottom of the pyramid at that point. I think she's probably on the bottom somewhere, but I don't think she was last. So this is the first time in Dance Moms that we really see kids, like their pyramid placement reflected on the mom's behavior. So again, you're the trailblazer, Kel.
My kids hate me.
Yeah.
Every week it's like, Mom, just keep your mouth shut. Quit sticking up for us.
I know. Just let us be tortured.
Yes.
But then Abby goes on to say, like, you want to hire your own choreographer and still be in the group dance, and you can do it. But if you do it, you're finished. But last week she told you to hire the choreographer.
Exactly.
She told you to do it. She
told me to do that. And that's what gave the producers the idea.
Yeah, because
wasn't my idea.
Yeah, you just said, I want to do the costume. And she's like, well, then you hire the choreographer. And then everybody in the back took a note.
And why should I not want to do my costume when 3 of the 5 episodes,
my costumes
weren't right? So
exactly.
It wasn't like I was like, me saying I would do my own costume would be helping her out. But instead I get in trouble for it.
Exactly. And she told you to do it. Like it was her idea.
I know.
But then I was really laughing at the fact that Mackenzie was above both of your kids, and she spent the week at the pool with her dad.
Goes to show how I rate.
And then Nia's next on the pyramid, and Abby announces that Nia and Mackenzie will have a duet. And then Chloe is next, even though she is the ultimate failure. And she is told that she's going to have a solo and be in the group. And then Abby says, Maddie, no surprise, you're at the top. But why is it not a surprise? Maddie didn't even dance last week.
Yeah, she didn't have a solo, did she?
Yeah, but it's no surprise that she's at the top. Then Abby tells us that, Abby keeps saying
It
that.
looks like you're smoking a cigarette.
Oh, well, actually, my drink this week should have been not a cigarette, but weed, because there is a story of Holly and I in an alley with weed that I'm going to tell. You just
Holly with weed.
Holly with weed. Just
Oh,
you
my.
wait. If that's not a cliffhanger, nothing is.
Okay.
All right. She tells us that Maddie is the glue that holds the group together. And it's really important that we win this week. It's always important. But this week, for some other reason, it's even more important. But we get this
Because
shot.
you're at iHollywood and the judges could hire you for TV or film.
Yes. But they give us a shot of the girls and it's really quick. But Mackenzie stares dead in the camera. It like looks like she's like staring into your soul. Cause you know, like when you look in the camera, so she's like dead in the camera. It's hilarious. It's really quick, but it's funny. So then we start rehearsing the group and we're told that your kids are in the group or they can do a solo, but they can't do both. So you need to pick.
But I just have to say, like, I'm at rehearsals the whole time.
Right.
So if I had
know.
to pick, like, the whole episode really made no sense to me
Mhm.
because first of all, I would never have been allowed in the next room with a
No.
choreographer. And if I was in the other room with a choreographer, I wouldn't be allowed to be rehearsing my pumps. And my kids were at every rehearsal.
Or every rehearsal.
So Abby obviously knew I was doing the group dance.
Exactly.
She would not have put my kids in it.
No, and then it would have been a trio if they hadn't been in it.
Yes.
And so
Yes.
it wouldn't have been a group.
Yes.
Unless she put Mackenzie in there, but obviously she wasn't. And she tells us that my pumps is sharp and it's fun. And we start talking. And we're talking about how Abby is going to take Maddie and Mackenzie to do special things. And you say, well, you know what that's going to be. And then we're all like, where they're going to go want to go see, they're going to go meet people. She's going to like try to push and further their careers. Then we get a really quick shot of Chloe rehearsing, I guess maybe the beginning of her solo. I don't know. Or maybe it's part of my pumps, but she almost kicks Abby in the head. Did you see it?
No,
Chloe
that would have been good.
I know. Like she's doing this. I don't even know what it is. I have no idea, but her leg is up and she's right by Abby and she like has to bend her leg like really, close to her body. So she doesn't whack her in the face, but that would have been poetic justice.
Yes.
And again, we hear that Melissa's left her kids. And I say I would never leave Chloe with Abby, but I wouldn't because it's different treatment. Like if Chloe was treated like Maddie, then yeah, probably I would have sent her happily. But our kids are treated like shit.
Paige would have probably been tied up to her chair from. That's why she didn't have the chair at rehearsal. Abby had it like in the back room,
waiting to tie her up.
Waiting until she babysat.
Oh, I say something about Melissa's boyfriend paying the bills. I'm wearing a really fucking ugly craft shirt. And we get that flashback of Melissa in her Cruella outfit where she's saying, my boyfriend knows how much dances, he signs the checks. And we're talking
Best line ever.
What that he signs?
You say,
yeah.
I guess a girl's gotta do
what a girl's gotta do.
I love that line.
And Holly is sitting there, and Holly must have stolen her ring from Abby's collection of giant rhinestone pieces. She had on this flower ring that looked like the Wonder Twins power ring.
Oh,
really? It was this big. That. It was wild. It was like the wildest thing Holly has worn. And you tell us that you're not surprised that your kids are at the bottom and the dramatic music starts.
Oh gosh.
And I go on to say that I think that you have a lot of courage. And I think my earrings I made in art class. Those hoops with the little beads dangling at I'm pretty sure I made those in art class. Go on.
Yeah. I was just going to say, you saying I had courage. No, I didn't choose to do this, but just me doing it, exactly what you said is true. Like people don't do that shit to Abby.
No.
Like for me to do this, and that's what people need to understand, because Paige gets so upset and is so nervous and like frantic because you don't do that to Abby.
No.
And
No.
I was kind of given the ultimatum that I had to do
Yes.
to Abby. I would have never hired my own choreographer.
No.
I would have rather my kids not had a solo. Then they could have concentrated on the other stuff that they were doing.
Now, Abby does tell us later on, though, that she has known for 30 years not to trust you.
Oh, I know. Kiss my ass. I was probably the most loyal person to her.
And then we are told that there is a special guest coming in and there's a special surprise. And the minute you say surprise, the girls are like, oh, like they're so like, oh cute.
I know, they get so excited.
And then all of a sudden, the door bursts open and in comes Shangela. But we have it wrong. We call her Laquifa the whole episode. Yeah. But her name is Shangela.
Yeah.
And Nia screams the minute she sees her and she's like, oh, and she like turns, like she's frantic. But Nia's the funniest though. I mean, they're so wild. And then
Holly, she was like speechless.
Yeah. But Brooke is hysterical. Brooke is like, ah!
Yeah, Brooke's like laughing.
It's hysterical. The girls are hysterical. And Shangela comes in and she is performing. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, in like 14-inch stiletto platform pumps, she hits the ground, boom, in the death drop right in front of us. And we shit our pants.
Yes.
We literally shit our pants.
Like that done before.
We are actually dying. And then Abby tells us that she brought in Shangela because Nia is a black diva. Now, hold on. I want to give a special minute to tell you guys, if you don't know, like Shangela is actually very legendary. She's been on RuPaul's Drag Race like 3 times. She's been in Glee. She's like been in the X-Files. But did you know that she was in A Star Is Born with Bradley Cooper and Lady Gaga?
Oh, really? You know what?
Yes.
I did. Yeah.
Yeah. She's the club owner.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. Like she's the one when, remember the blonde is giving him the guitar and he's like, what do you want me to play? And she's like, I don't care what you play. Just look at me when you do it. Well, there's a woman sitting there like doing the bills and she's like, oh Lord, he already signed your tits. Leave him alone. Yeah. And it's like, that is Shangela playing that part. And actually Lady Gaga requested her to audition for the blonde part. And obviously she didn't get cast in that, but they loved her so much that they gave her the speaking part where she was like the club owner. So I thought that was kind of fun.
Yeah, that's cool.
And did you know that Shangela's friends with John? That's why she was on the show. So John is one of our creators. Like they're friends. So Shangela comes in, but we're like all talking and the kids are standing there and Paige is standing there in Shangela's glasses and her big fur coat.
And her coat. And she don't want to share them either.
No, she looks
like I'm wearing these puppies. And everybody like wants to try them on. And she's like, oh no, I got them.
I got them. She's standing.
I'm looking good.
She wanted to go out with us that night. Yeah, she already had her outfit.
Glasses are bigger than her whole face.
It was so funny. And then Shangela tells us that she's here to talk to them about performance art and being sickening. She says, I'm here to tell you about being sickening. So from now on, when we are fabulous, I'm going to say we are being sickening. Sickening. And I did want to point out to Holly, because she was very upset about the leopard outfit, but Shangela even has a leopard cane. Where does one get a leopard fuzzy cane?
I don't know.
Maybe she made that. She made it while I was making my earrings. It was craft hour.
Yeah.
And when she does the death drop, Paige is so impressed. Paige is literally so impressed.
I know.
She's like here for it. So funny. And we keep calling her Laquifa, but again, her name is Shangela.
I was just going to say, how about Holly? She says, at least she's not wearing an afro.
But Holly's happy that she's getting special attention.
Yes.
And Shangela says that she's going to teach Nia the death drop. And, but when she's saying this, Shangela is standing there like making this motion with her hand. And that's when I noticed her ring is like a matching ring to Holly.
Oh my God, you and your jewelry.
I know. Well, because I pause it as I'm writing things. I would have never noticed. So as I'm writing things, I'm pausing it. And that's where I always see this shit. I'm like, oh, look at that, look at that, look at that. And Holly is very afraid of the death drop, but she's also so happy.
I think it's great that they did this for Nia, and it was fun.
It was
It
fun
wasn't just
and
like a special
funny.
part. It was fun, and it was like a whole special day because she was there, and I
Yes.
thought that was great.
And it was fun for us. Like we had so much fun. Do you remember what you said to me? You said, "Where's his wiener?"
Well, I don't know this stuff.
And we're like, it's taped. And you're like, you tape your wiener?
Oh, I can't even imagine.
Well, you
Wow.
wax, so maybe it's similar, you know?
Like to pull that off.
Pull it off. But also, what happens if you sweat and it comes loose?
Yeah, I don't
We
know.
need to investigate this. I feel
Well,
like
they
this
might have Spanx on over it or something.
I feel like this is one costume area that we are not specialists. And we
Yes, we're not experts
specialize.
at that.
No.
Yeah, we are pretty good at costuming, but that I don't think I think I would have a costume malfunction.
I definitely would. Okay, so then for the first time, we get the Ohio sign followed by livestock.
Yes,
We
lovely.
see the cows, and Kathy and Vivi are in the studio and they're getting ready to rehearse. And
And
Kathy
they
goes,
are strumming guitars, man.
Well, yes.
Strumming guitars.
but even before that, Kathy says to Vivi, smile. Vivi's standing there dead faced, and Vivi goes,
I can't even do it. I laugh.
and that's when they start doing the strumming the guitars. And Kathy's like, hey, 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 hey. I'm like, what the fuck is happening? It is wild. Like, it is wild. No
Yeah.
wonder why Candy Apples was such a producer favorite, because it's almost like parody, the whole thing.
Yeah. I agree.
And it's insanity. And so then Kathy tells Taylor a little bit about Chloe. And then she says that she has a surprise for us because she went online, you know. Yeah, she went
You
online.
can't do that till after, right?
Yeah,
You don't put the music up before the competition. You can maybe get it after.
I think it just says the kids' names of like,
Yeah, I
who's
don't think
dancing.
it has. Yeah, I'm thinking
Online.
they got that from the producers.
I was going to say, I'm thinking online is code word for producers.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
what I would say.
And she's going to psych us out, which she does, because there's a whole story that I have to tell about when I found out all that was happening. So the kids are rehearsing and Abby gets a phone call and we are signing more papers.
I know.
We have like,
signing our life away.
I'm telling you,
Yeah,
what are those papers we're
I
signing?
don't know.
I'm wondering
I
if
wrote that down too.
I'm wondering if it has something to do with, at that point, I think we had started to do a little bit of press because people were like picking up, even though it was only a week later, like people wanted to interview us. So I'm wondering if we had an interview like with a news, like Good Morning America or something,
Yeah.
and we were filling paperwork out. Because what would we be filling paperwork out?
I don't know.
But we were like in it with the paperwork. So then Abby goes in the hallway and she's crying that her mom is sick, and she calls Gianna out and she's like, find a flight. She doesn't know I'm coming. And then she says she won't even know when I'm coming. And I actually felt bad for Abby in this moment because like when my
your
grandma was sick,
so you wouldn't be there. Yeah.
yeah, but even
Absolutely.
just with the show, like we didn't have autonomy that we could just go off and do what needed to be done. We had an obligation. And so she goes like, I'm here with these kids. These mothers have no idea what I'm doing. No, you're there because you're the star of the
working.
show.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
working.
And-
So
and, I mean, and one thing I was thinking when she was saying that, like what she gave up for the show, like we did too.
Exactly.
Like, I mean, my 10-year-old is at home alone
exactly.
for the next how many a month or whatever, and
Yeah.
so I'm giving up stuff for the show too.
Holly left her 2 boys at home. You know, Clara was in a freaking hotel room as a baby when she should have been like outside playing. And we
Yeah.
left our husbands. We all really sacrificed. I remember one time specifically, it was December 23rd. Okay. And we were flying back from competition. And I remember sitting in the airport and I was talking to Jimmy and I was just like, this is bullshit. I'm like, it is December 23rd. We
Yeah.
have kids. We haven't been home. We need to make Christmas happen for these kids. And we got home on like Christmas that night. And
That's
then
Randy's birthday, the 23rd. So
yeah,
we would have missed Randy's birthday. Today's Christmas Eve, and the next day's Christmas Day.
And
we
we're
had
trying
no
to, like,
time to prepare.
none. But we were like, you know what? This is what we signed up for. These are the sacrifices. So we all made sacrifices.
Yes.
And then we go now into you walking in to have Paige learn her dance with Mike. I didn't write his last name. What's his last name?
Munich. I have to look it up.
Munich.
Because
Well,
I did not hire this guy. I've never seen this guy before in my life, never talked to him before this moment that you guys see on camera.
he looks like Ryan Gosling when he's playing Ken.
Yeah.
Like with the hair, like I
With the
literally
bleached hair.
yeah, I was like, oh, Ryan Gosling is Ken. And then in your interview, you say that Maddie and Chloe always get the best choreography and you just want Paige to feel special. And Mike tells us that he's danced with Kesha, Gaga, and Adam Lambert. And Paige could not be more unimpressed.
Because Paige wanted to poke her eyes out for being there. She's like, you guys are setting me up to be killed.
The energy that she had with Shangela, none of it.
But why couldn't that have been the same thing?
Yeah. Like excitement.
You have a special choreographer coming in to work with you. Like, let's have this be fun. Not it be like, Paige, when you leave this room, you're going to be killed because Abby's going to find out that you have a thing in there. And then you're not going to be able to dance with your friends and whatever.
Right.
So Paige is dancing like this.
Right.
Like,
well,
so like, when am I going to be in trouble? Is she going to shoot me? Is she going to do this? Is she going to do that? Like, what? Like,
that's the first time we see Paige really as a really big ball of nerves. Even though other bad things had happened, you could tell the anxiety when she's dancing.
Because you knew that it was just, we were going against like anything that was about the studio. Like you just knew you just didn't do this. Like that. Abby said about, she told me to get my own choreographer, whatever, and that's what gave those guys the idea. But also remember a couple episodes ago, Kathy wouldn't let Vivi do the bee dance, and she did the cowboy dance that was Kathy's choreography with Kathy's thing, and Abby let her do it.
That's exactly right.
And was supposed to be independent, and then said, and put her in as Abby's name, and she ended up saying Kathy's. So she did allow that to happen before.
Exactly. Abby tells us she's not stupid. She knows what's going on. And in the 30 plus years that you've claimed to be at the studio, and I'm like, wait, Kelly really, like, you didn't claim it. You were there since you were a teenager. Yeah. Maybe she's just bitter because
since I was 2.5.
Yeah. I think she's bitter because you used to steal all of her boyfriends in high school.
I guess.
That'll come up too.
The one that becomes the attorney or whatever.
Oh God. Yeah. We cut back to Kathy. And again, she tells us that Vivi is so much more capable than the choreography that Abby gave her. And we get a flashback of Ken's and Vivi actually doing patty cake on stage. Like they're like,
okay, but Vivi and what's his name were just doing guitar moves. I don't know which one's more impressive.
And when Kathy,
patty cake or guitar.
As Kathy is saying she didn't use us properly, Vivi is shaking her head so knowingly. She's like, yes. I was not used to my fullest potential. Yes. And now we're back with Paige rehearsing, and it is sexy. He's like,
very sexy.
Do this. Maybe those are the moves she uses now when she goes out to the club, because that's about all it's good for. But it wasn't good for on stage dancing. These are club moves.
Oh my goodness.
Paige probably would never dance in a club, because I can tell you, I've heard from Brooke and you can't dance when you're out because it's not choreographed.
It's not choreographed. I never do. Like when I go to wedding or nightclub or anything, I never do. Maybe I'll do like a line dance or something because it's choreographed.
Yeah.
But I do not just go up and dance. It's weird because I guess your brain has been trained all your life. I can't go out there and do my own moves.
I can't improv.
Terrible. It's terrible.
You could just do your split.
And I do it in this episode for a photo.
You do a split?
Yeah, I'll tell you when we get there. They don't show it, but we have photos somewhere.
All right, that's amazing. Paige tells us that she's scared because Mike doesn't know her and Abby will be mad. And they're
terrified.
So terrified. And Paige is doing a lot of whipping moves. lot of whipping moves, but she tells us she only has one day to learn, which that's even worse than what we normally have. I don't even think
they had one day. I think he was only there like a half an hour. Like we totally filmed for like a half an hour. That was like the time that she had, because they never intended for her to do it.
It was
sure
just
to piss Abby off.
Of course.
To get Paige flustered.
We need a
There
fight.
was no intention of Paige doing that dance on stage.
While Paige is rehearsing, this is when Holly and I had our weed moment.
I wanted to be in the weed moment, not.
So here's what the weed moment is.
I would much rather have had some weed.
No, we didn't have weed. We were
No, but just the thought of it would have probably been better.
So
I know Holly didn't.
I didn't either.
Oh, okay, whatever.
We left the studio and we went out, and behind the studio, because you keep seeing the shots of the front, the back door of the studio was in an alley. So Holly and I went outside just to get some air because we weren't filming. We weren't on camera. And we're standing there and we're like, what is that skunk? And I'm like, that can't be weed. And I'm like, is there a city skunk? And then we realized that
Did
weed
Holly
was.
even know what weed was?
I don't remember, but we very quickly came to the conclusion that it was legal in California. It might not have been legal at that point, but everybody who smoked weed everywhere we went. So we were getting a contact high in the alley. So we were like, oh my God, there's weed. And then because the show had already aired the week before, Holly and I had our very first interaction with an Abby fan. Not a Dance Moms fan, an Abby fan. So we were standing in the alley, and this older woman comes walking down the alley with a stroller with her dog in the stroller. Okay.
Oh, that's an Abby fan.
That's an Abby fan. And she starts with us. Like out of nowhere. And this is the first time we're like, wait, what? People are nuts. She turns around and she starts like yelling at us that we need to respect our dance teacher. We're rude. We're this. And Holly and I are like dumbfounded because we weren't used to anything like that at this point. We're like,
yeah,
what is she talking about? And we're like, oh, she watched the show and she was like nutty. And so from that point forward, anytime we came across like crazy people, Holly and I would look at each other and be like, dog stroller person. Like that's a dog stroller. So that became our euphemism for like a weird Abby fan is a dog stroller lady. Okay. So
Abby
that
was a dog stroller.
Oh yeah, she sure did. Baby, of course, was in a dog stroller. Please, they never gave her water. She couldn't walk around.
She got no exercise.
No.
Poor dog.
And now we see Taylor practicing and it cuts to Taylor practicing, and then we see Chloe practicing side by side. And I
like that side by side thing.
That side by side. But I have to tell you, the minute I hear "Dream on a Star," my heart squeezes. That is my favorite. Chloe did beautiful dances, and there's plenty that like have moments. But "Dream on a Star" is it has a special place in my heart. I don't know why. I think because she was little. It was season 1. It wasn't a terrible week for her. I loved the choreography, but the minute I hear that song,
I love the costume too.
There was actually a costume online that somebody's like, this is the actual costume that Chloe wore on Dance Moms, and it was on for sale. I own that costume. It is in my basement. Somebody was like selling a knockoff. Yeah, that is not real. Somebody like copied it and said it was the real one. I have that costume. Yeah, it was beautiful. And that music, when I hear it, I just like, I get a little bit of a lump in my throat. I do. Then Chloe says that she wants to have her moment in LA, but she also wants to win. But then she needs to remember that she's having fun. And then we get a really weird interaction because Abby is sitting on the couch with us, talking to us like humans. It's weird.
I saw that. No, she ain't talking to me.
She's talking to Holly and
you.
Me and
you're
Holly.
Actually asking about her mom. I'm like, oh my, you must have been out there smoking that weed.
I was smoking that weed, clearly.
You were definitely smoking the weed because you were being way too nice.
We were being nice to each other, and Chloe's laying between us. And it was a very human moment that I just was like, oh my God, like that threw me off more than the fighting. Cause I'm like, what is happening? Cause you're waiting for her to like turn around and punch me.
Oh no, she was too busy waiting to punch me and Paige.
Then we see Abby talking to Maddie about her solo. And she's like, this is abuse. And then you commit suicide. And I was like, oh my God, that's the Where Have All the Children Gone theme. You're abused and then you kill yourself.
Yeah.
No one knows you exist. No one cares. And it's going to be more about your acting than dance.
Yeah, she says her acting skills should be as good as her dancing technique.
Yes. And that is the first dance other than Where Have All the Children Gone in Dance Moms, that it's like this deep, dark message and dramatic. And those are always the dances that did really well. And you will see that there is a recurring theme. Maddie always gets those like moving dances. And we're always kind of like, da, 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 you know?
Yeah.
So, but I love Dream on a Star, so I'm not complaining yet. I'll complain in the future. Don't worry. Yeah. Paige and Mike are rehearsing, and you are saying you need attitude. Be sexy. Be sexy. Move with the music. And she's really tense. And Mike says that he can smell it a mile away.
Yeah, because she's scared shitless. Do you see her face? She just like wants to.
She's dying. Herself. She's literally dying. But the good news is that the studio now offers free Wi-Fi, because there's a big sign behind you that says
nice. I'm glad we know that. I might need them to call. I might need to look something up.
A new choreographer.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, the camera gets really shaky. We see Paige's feet walk away. It's like Blair Witch type shit that's going on. And then Paige goes and locks herself in the bathroom, and we hear her crying, which is sickening to hear, because I know that feeling. So it's not just like watching a show. I like can feel that in my stomach for Paige.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you could.
And it's just another one of those situations that I would have never put Paige in that situation. When a choreographer shows up and they say, go in the next room, Paige is going to learn a solo.
Yeah. What are you going to do?
You're being paid to be on a TV show. What do you do? Yeah. I believe me, like some behind the scenes, I fought with them for 3 days over this, and you'll see what and you can tell how upset I am and stuff at the competition.
Well, even when you walk out of the room at the competition, I think there's a producer in the hallway. Because that's who you're saying. Because
I'm like, I'm not doing this. Like, who would have done that? Like, I mean, it wasn't even realistic.
Just like when we hired the private investigators, you know, because clearly I would do that over a costume. So stupid. And Abby tells us, who wants mediocre kids? It's her name. It's her reputation. Blah, bitty, blah, blah, blah. Maddie's rehearsing. Paige is crying. And there is a heartbeat behind the scene, like for the intensity. And Abby's still saying like really bitchy things about Paige. And it's terrible.
She says about how she's going to forget the dance. And, I'm going to regret my decision. And I'm telling Paige, like, if you're not ready, we won't do the dance tomorrow. But like I said, I mean, the guy was there literally in the building
30 minutes.
for half an hour. So there was no way Paige was going to be able to compete this dance. It wasn't that I was just being a pain in the ass bitch again, saying, oh, I'm going to pull the dance. She never learned it.
There wasn't a dance to pull.
Yes.
And as Abby is working with Maddie, she tells us that there is no time for drama, and you don't need to be here. You don't need to be here. You don't need to be here. But we wouldn't have sat in that room. Like, I'm pretty sure that we were told to sit in there.
Exactly.
But it makes it seem like we're desperate to watch. And I'm like, we would have been out in the hallway. Trust me. We would have been up in the alley doing secondhand smoke.
Yeah. Rather than sit in that room. Believe me.
Please.
I'd have been anywhere but there.
Yep. Abby then tells us in an interview that if you think you're going to hire a better choreographer, this isn't going to happen, because she has done adorable, brilliant work for you that people have called her after competitions to ask about costumes and music.
Yes. And she sure as hell wasn't talking about Paige.
No, she was talking about Brooke.
She was talking about Brooke. And that was when Brooke was like 6 and Brooke was the Maddie. Like, that's who gets the good choreography and the costumes. Yes. You had the, and Brooke was that before the show. So, and I am not arguing about that, but we weren't talking about Brooke. We were talking about
Paige. But it's easy to lump them together because she says your kids.
Yeah.
And again, people are listening and they're like, yeah, your kids. But your point wasn't Brooke. You always said that Brooke got that. It was Paige, and Paige was really getting the shit stick. The shit stick? The shit end of the stick. And I don't even want to say this next line because I think it's bullshit.
What is it?
They just don't pick up quickly. Bullshit, because they're on a show that requires them to learn a dance in 3 days and perform it on national television. So don't give me that. And not
just one dance. A lot of times it's two dances a week in 3 days. Learn 2 dances in 3 days and perform it on stage on TV.
And even though people are watching that, and they're seeing the girls because they hear Abby say that, they believe that that's true.
But the other reason is just like the way they put her in this situation. They knew nobody would do that. First of all, if I was going behind Abby's back and making a bold movement like that, I sure as hell would not have my daughter prepared. She would not be learning her dance.
Oh no.
I would have been behind Abby's back learning that dance for 3 weeks or a month and had it absolutely perfected before I put her out on that stage. If I was making that move.
I couldn't agree with you more. Agree with you more.
But what I was getting back to about them not picking up quickly is if you put a kid in that situation and you make them so frazzled, they're not going to be able to pick up quickly because their brain is thinking about everything else. Like, I'm going to get in trouble. This is going to happen. This is going to happen. What's going to happen when I do this? It's like they can't concentrate on learning the group dance because they're worried about what's going to happen about something else.
Just like we can't concentrate if we're being distracted.
Exactly.
No person.
Nobody can. Yeah.
Next up is the Maddie Abby lunch because Abby wants to talk about her career and her future. She's 8. I always think it's so funny when we're like, oh, let's talk about your career. You're 8.
Yeah.
And Abby asked Maddie, what does she want to do? And Maddie says that she wants to be on Broadway. And Abby says, what about here? You could have it all. And then Abby
could have her own TV show.
She always wanted Maddie and Mackenzie to have a show like Mary-Kate and Ashley. Yeah, she was always pushing that.
Yeah.
Then Abby switches into bestie mode because then she's confiding in Maddie about her mom. I'm like, this is weird.
And she's like, oh, I missed my mom. Like, you miss your mom. Me, mom was gone for a couple days.
First of all, Maddie is drinking out of a martini glass, which is hysterical. She's drinking her Shirley Temple out of a martini glass. Well, Abby calls her mom and mom says she's not doing great. And then the lunch is over. Cut to the competition. So the girls walk in their pink outfits, which I love. And we start getting ready. And then we cut to the candy apples walking in,
they're meditating.
The meditating is killing me. How about when then she screams
then they do
opera.
Yeah. Oh God, my glass just broke.
And then they all wiggle. And Kathy tells us it's going to be a boxing match. And I'm thinking truer words because we know it's going to come in a few seasons. It is going to be a boxing match, literally.
Yes.
So
in the dressing room.
When we then go to the dressing room, Abby is not wearing a headband, but I feel like we should still drink because she has that really aggressive, thick rhinestone cuff. And we only
just want to drink.
Yeah, well, we only had one headband, Cal.
Yeah, we haven't had much drink today.
Mm-mm.
It's probably good because I'm a little hungover.
Well, it's because we showed that whole day in the studio where we never changed. Trust me, if Abby had an opportunity, she would have had multiple headbands on.
I could not get over that. This is the only episode we have not worn 10 outfits, and that is the ugliest outfit I ever owned.
Isn't it just always that way?
Yeah, it pisses me off. It couldn't have been a day I had a good outfit on.
Nope, never. That's not the way this show worked. It was even things that weren't in anyone's control still fucked us over. That's the thing. So we're sitting in the dressing room and Kathy comes in. It literally,
Little Red Riding Hood with her basket.
And the big bad wolf is sitting there in all of her black. And our faces are hysterical when she walks in the door. We're like, all these faces. And she introduces Justice and Taylor. And it's really funny because Chloe's sitting on the floor and she's like eyeing up Taylor, but she's kind of like, huh. All right, this is interesting and new.
Yeah, like who are you?
What is going on?
Yeah.
But thankfully, Kathy gives us Taylor's resume really quickly.
Yes.
Like everything she has won.
3 titles.
Oh yeah, perfect.
Miss Dynamite, I'd never heard of. I did hear Junior Miss Carr and Miss Next Star. I've never heard of Miss Dynamite.
No, I haven't either. So I say, leave my kid alone.
Yes.
Like leave us alone.
Go away.
And I actually have a question because I said in my notes that we all look a little fancier and you are wearing your fancy dress, which I actually think is really cute. The first time you saw the show when we watched it in Vegas, what did you think when you saw yourself on TV?
Oh God, how ugly and fat I am.
Well, first of all, I think I'm much cuter in real life. Like, I think we all are.
I think everybody said that.
Yes.
Like when you would meet fans, fans would always come up to me and be like, "Oh, you're so much thinner than you look on TV." And it's
Yes.
like, to me, I was like, "Oh, well, thanks."
Yeah.
But I think it was they were trying for it to be
Compliment.
a compliment, like they.
Mhm.
But no, it wasn't. But so I guess when they say television adds 10 pounds, I guess.
Oh,
it
for
does.
sure. Well, I always thought, not even looking at myself, but I always thought looking at you guys, because I sat with you guys every day. You know, I saw you in real life, but I would always watch the show and I'm like, oh God, I'm like, the moms are so much prettier in real life. That's what I always thought. I really do. When Kathy tells us that Vivi and Justice have a duet, then she tells us that you said to bring it. And so now she's bringing it.
Oh, everybody blames me.
You're the troublemaker. But when you see us all lined up in the room, we are lined up like we're going to battle and we are behind Abby. And that is the first time you see us like, we're going to fucking take you on. And we had like her back. So I thought that was kind of an interesting thing.
Yeah.
Because that didn't happen very often.
No, but it always did whenever Kathy's group came.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, which is
came together. Yeah.
That's why I always loved when Candy Apple showed up, because Abby was going to fight with her and leave us alone.
Instead of us. Yeah.
I loved Candy Apple weeks. Kathy says that our choreography is old and tired. Yeah. And Abby goes on to say that's really unprofessional when a professional mocks another professional. But then I'm thinking, isn't it really unprofessional when a teacher mocks a student too?
Yeah. And then she says she has two traitors. Me and Kathy.
Yeah. And they start
put me in with her, please.
No. Well, they start arguing about how many kids do you have on Broadway, blah, blah, blah. And then Abby screams failure. And the kids are lined up on the floor and they just look stunned. They're like, what is happening?
And then why is Kathy here?
Yeah, because nobody expected that. No one expected that. And then she's like, Chloe, Maddie, get ready. And they're like, yes, it's really cute. Instead of like competing against each other, they're like excited that they get to go. Did you notice? So Abby's going to start talking to you in a minute about Paige's solo, but she's getting Mackenzie ready and she is tugging that hood on that child, holding the biggest pair of scissors ever on the planet next to her face. Did you see that? She's like tugging it with those scissors. And I'm like, holy shit, Mackenzie's going to lose an eye.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
That's what you get when you leave your kid alone with Abby.
That's exactly right. Now
back without an eye.
Thought the curling iron was bad.
Yeah.
What about plucking out Mackenzie's eye on scissors? And so Holly then asks you about your solo, but it doesn't look like you're wearing makeup here.
I'm not, because I was up all night fighting with producers and all morning. Like I couldn't even get my makeup done because I was sitting fighting with them saying, I think I'm not doing this. Like,
okay. All right.
Yes, that's what I said. And look at like when I talk, like I'm like frazzled. I'm like Paige was. Like they just had us so frazzled. I don't know. It gets me so aggravated because then like I'm in that room getting my kids ready the whole time and doing this when I was already told if I was doing this solo, I wasn't allowed to be in the group dance. So like, why did we do all this? Like, why was all that torture necessary? If you knew my kid wasn't going to do the dance, why did you torture her and torture me? You can see this is my first day of me starting to lose my mind. Like,
yes,
you're messing with my kids' minds. And like, this is the first day I'm like I can't take this.
Yes. And you can see you're very frazzled. But then Abby tells us in an interview that it's just bad parenting. Like it's bad parenting.
Why is it a bad parenting?
Exactly.
For me to stick up for my child.
Bad parenting isn't like trying to do good for your children. That's not bad parenting.
What I was doing. That's why I was such a mess and I had no makeup on and whatever, and did you see the bags under my eyes?
I didn't notice the bags, but
it was
I just noticed you weren't wearing lipstick.
Fighting with them saying like, this is ridiculous. And why are you doing this to my kid when you know she's not going to even be performing it?
Yeah.
They were making Abby want to hate her. And me.
Well, luckily you and Abby start arguing and you're crying and you say, just pull the number. And that's when you go out of the room and you slam the door open. And I'm pretty sure I want to say maybe it's Brian's arm in the hallway. But you're like, pull the number and you like slam out. And I get that. When I'm watching
like you
that,
said a few minutes ago, you said there was no number to pull.
right. No,
I mean, the guy was there for half an hour.
And did he have a beginning, a middle, an end? No, it was just like a couple of moves in there.
Yeah. Yeah. But they make it out a big deal that I'm pulling
a
Paige's
number
again.
Mhm.
Again, I'm pulling a number.
Well, if anything, you would have done tongue twister that Abby had already choreographed
the week before.
You liked that dance.
Yes.
Now we see Abby in the hallway and she is walking with Maddie to stage and she's holding her hand and she says, I'm not holding your hand because you need it. I'm holding your hand so everyone knows
who you are.
Abby tells her that you've really inspired me. This dance is really important and big things can come to you for the rest of your life. And honestly, and I'm not 100% sure about this, so I'm sure we'll get some pushback, but I think this might be the dance that Sia saw that she decided that she was like moved by Maddie and wanted her in Chandelier. Really? But Abby was completely right because she said this could change your life. And it did. I mean, look at Maddie's like career. It's incredible. Yeah. So Abby knew what she was doing. And we always said that. Abby then tells Maddie to portray that abused child, give them no choice. She has that weird voice. She's crying. And I'm thinking to myself, now imagine if Abby had that faith in all of the kids. Could you imagine? Yeah. She would have had the most incredible powerhouse of a team. And that's what I always said. You expect one to rise to the occasion and you support her and you're like, you can do this. And she does. And then you tell the rest of them that they suck and they'll never do it. And then they have all of that pressure and then they continue to fail. It's like your expectations really do set the outcome.
And I say that later on about Gianna. Like,
oh yes.
I'm not even saying that that has to come from just Abby. Yes. Like that's what I was saying. Like when I went special intention, just like Nia got Shangela Laquifa or whatever, like that made Nia feel special that week.
Yeah.
It had nothing to do with Abby. Or when Maddie's practicing and Gianna is like fixing every little fingertip or helping her do her hair or whatever, like that makes a child feel special. Like that's all I was asking for. And it wasn't just attention from Abby. Like if they would have brought this kid in and made it fun and light for Paige or for Chloe or whoever and made it a nice moment, it would give them that little boost.
Yes.
Like why didn't they ever do that with anybody but certain people? Like
yes. Maddie dances. It's beautiful. She was great. And she comes off stage and she cries and says she misses her mom.
Yeah.
Kathy then tells us that she can't lose.
The redheaded mom, I can't remember her name.
Oh my God, dressed like Michael Jackson.
How about you needed to borrow that sequin bag, man?
First of all, the bag
sequins.
But she was dressed like Michael Jackson. All she was missing was the glove. But Kathy does tell them, make sure you have fun, which I do appreciate. And Vivi tells us in her interview that she really thinks that they could beat Nia and Mackenzie because all they do is acro, backbends, and lunging.
I thought that was hysterical. First of all, Vivi probably didn't even know what any of them things were. Somebody, I am 100% sure, told Vivi to say that.
I thought lunging was funny. I'm like, they just do lunging.
Lunging, yeah.
And we get this dramatic announcer voiceover that's like, next we have Vivi and Justice from Ohio. When in a competition have you ever heard where you're from?
Yeah.
So Ohio. And then they do the shimmy walk and the cowboy dance. That is Brooke's move every time I see her.
Brooke and Vivi's move.
Yes. And I actually thought the duet was decent. I mean, it was fine. It wasn't like, oh my God, it was cute. And then we have Nia and Mackenzie's duet. And
I really liked theirs.
I loved their duet.
It was really good.
I loved like when Kenzie did the back bend walk under Nia.
Yeah.
Like the little snaky thing. Well, we
partnering. It was cute.
We loved it in the audience. We're all about it. We're so excited. We're smiling. We're clapping. and Abby's proud. It was just a lot of positive moments. It really was. Then the big moment where Taylor starts the dance and the music starts. Well, I'm going to tell you what was going on, like from my perspective, because I had taken Chloe to the bathroom. Now, first of all, you'll notice in later episodes of Dance Moms, the girls are never in the audience watching. The girls are always backstage, you know, that it starts to become very like structured. And they would have never let me out of that auditorium to go to the bathroom when this big moment would have been going on later. I would have had to been in the audience sitting there with the camera on me, you know? So the fact that I wasn't even in the room was kind of crazy. So we're in the bathroom and I was like touching up Chloe's hair before she went on, and we heard that music and I almost shit myself because I thought that she missed it. That they, you know, because sometimes if you're not on, they'll announce you and they'll play it and then you're disqualified.
Yeah.
And I was in the bathroom and I was like, because that wasn't like common music. It was music for the show. Exactly. And so I almost fainted and I'm like, what is happening?
But and I also think you said that they wouldn't let you leave. I think that was
maybe you could be right.
I mean, because you wouldn't have had I think you having the reaction of, oh my God, is that your music? Like we missed it.
Yeah, maybe like, that you're right.
Sit in the audience, you would have been like, oh, that's Chloe's music. I think you got more of a reaction.
Probably.
By you hearing it, not.
Yeah, you're probably right. So in the bathroom, so I come out and Chloe's looking around. She looks panicked and I'm holding that giant pink Vera Bradley bag. Do you remember the one cameraman always said, why do you carry carpet bags to all of us?
Yeah, they always called them carpet bags because they sent us all bags. Mm-hmm. So we all had them. And they're like, those are like carpet bags.
So I'm holding my carpet bag. Chloe comes out and she runs and she looks so emotional. But in the audience, Holly's like, is that Chloe's music? And Abby's like, same song. And you can see them realizing. So it was like, we didn't know what to expect. That was very shocking. And so I come in and I say to Abby, I'm like, did someone dance to Chloe's music? And I'm sitting with her in the audience, which never happened.
Yeah. Yeah. You've been kissing her ass all week.
I guess so.
Sitting with her on the couch, sitting with her in the audience.
Well, we kissed and made up in Vegas.
Because Melissa was gone. She needed a new girlfriend.
Well,
right in.
And look, my kid had a good dance and good music.
Exactly. See?
I should have done it more often. Damn it. So stupid.
I didn't pick up on that until now. It's 11 years too late.
Chloe in an interview then says that she thinks it's on purpose that Kathy did that. And as she's backstage.
You think? You think that was on purpose, Chloe?
Really smart. And Chloe's backstage, and this is the first time you see the girls or any of the girls doing the handshake. You don't see the group do it yet. So you see Chloe doing it because she's nervous and she's shaking out her nerves. And I am just disgusted in the audience before she dances because I knew what Kathy had done. But in the background, when they show that shot of me, Vivi is woofing down an apple. There's this big apple core. It was like, so
she's a candy apple. Was there apples in that basket she had?
I think they were candy apples. I'm pretty sure
she was eating those.
I think Abby
I have to have a snack. Speaking of food, I'm getting hungry.
I'm pretty sure the kids wanted to eat the candy apples in the dressing room, and Abby's like, absolutely not. And then Chloe starts her dance, and the whole entire time she's dancing, Abby's like rooting for her and cheering her on. She's like, "Come on, kid, come on!" And
oh my God, I know. That's because it wasn't because she wanted Chloe to win. It was because she wanted to beat Kathy.
Exactly. But you know what? I'll take it because that was probably the nicest Abby ever was to Chloe on Dance Moms.
She was very happy in the audience. And then as soon as she was done dancing, she was like, good girl.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that was good.
I am so proud. I'm so proud. And I actually, again, I will say this. I loved that dance. I loved the choreography. I thought it was beautiful. I thought it suited Chloe. And I have no complaints about it. And we're in the dressing room now and we're putting on the kids' wigs for my pumps. They've got the skull caps on and we are like tugging those wigs on and we're sewing their heads. If you don't know what's happening, it is actually psychoticness.
Yeah. I finally got makeup on, I think.
You put some makeup on.
I know, it's only like 8:00 at night, probably.
Well, because when we're walking to the stage, we're definitely holding coffee cups. So it's later in the day.
I needed some coffee cups. I needed coffee cups.
Well, the girls are doing my pumps, and Paige is so sexy in it.
Yeah.
Paige has like a sexy face. I'm pretty sure that they wanted the girls to actually wear pumps in this dance. And Abby and Gianna were like, absolutely not, because they couldn't dance in heels. They were freaking baby. They were zygotes, you know?
Where would they even find heels that size?
I don't know, but I remember that they wanted them.
I can barely find heels to fit Brooke now.
Yeah.
She's 24. At age 12, I don't know that I would have found pumps. On tiny. She had such tiny feet.
Could you imagine like little pumps on there?
That would have been funny. We would have had some broken ankles.
They love an ambulance shot.
It would have been drama. Yeah.
They love ambulances. Oh, they would have loved it. No wonder why they wanted pumps. And Holly's in the audience like this. Like her lips are pursed, her shoulders going. And then
funny how you do that.
Mm-hmm.
Like I do that when they're doing their solos.
Oh, I do it all the time.
Like doing the moves, like
yeah, I do it all the time. And Chloe calls me on it constantly. She's like, "Can you stop?" I'm like, "I can't help it. I cannot help it." Because it's almost like you're willing them through your own body to move. So now is the big moment, Nia's death drop, and Nia absolutely kills it. She's like, boom.
Oh my God. It was amazing.
It was amazing.
I can remember that like I don't remember many competitions, but I can remember her doing it and how exciting it was.
It was
everybody in the audience was like, "Oh my God!" Yeah.
As Abby said, crazy. It was super fabulous.
Yes, I thought it was too.
Super fabulous. Now the presenters then going into awards, just a quick note for any like big dance fans out there, the presenters are actually dancers from So You Think You Can Dance. Like I recognize them. The one's little Melanie. So I was like, oh, I recognize them. So the awards are up and Mackenzie and Nia's duet wins. Yay. And Abby says something really rude about Vivi. I don't even know what she says. I just wrote ALM is rude about Vivi.
I don't remember.
Who knows? And then the big moment for Chloe, she won. And Kathy's really upset that Taylor got beat. But look, I'm really happy Chloe won. Yay!
I think we all were.
And Maddie got second place. And Abby just couldn't believe
she was
it.
Like shocked. I wrote Abby shocked.
Abby shocked. And Maddie says she thought she was the best, but even though she didn't win, she's still happy. And
she was happy with the second. Mm-hmm.
She was happy with the second. And my pumps gets third. And Abby tells us unacceptable. First, she was slapped in the face by Maddie getting second. No mention of the duet winning or Chloe winning. She's slapped in the face by Maddie getting second. And third is unacceptable. And then we get to you. And you go, I think Kathy's an idiot.
I do.
Kelly, how do you really feel?
Do you disagree with me?
No, but you're just like.
But all I have to say is, did you see whenever we leave that scene?
Mm-mm.
We go and they have that little Hollywood sign in the grass.
Yeah.
That's where I do my split for the picture. Remember we did that group picture and I got down and did my
yes, I do remember that. Where is that picture?
I don't know. We have to find it though.
You're doing a split in a dress.
I know.
Wow. I totally remember that.
Yeah, so do I. Like clear as day. I don't know why I can remember things from this episode.
Yeah. Well, you weren't
like all the episodes. I don't like remember things, but this episode, like I remember things like vividly. It's weird.
Oh, wow. I remember that now that you say that.
Yeah.
Huh. So Kathy then comes and she's talking shit
and congratulates us.
But what does she say that they beep out? You can't fix stupid? Why would they beep out the word stupid? What does she say?
Yeah, I don't know what they bleep. She said she can go home and fix what her kids did wrong. We can't fix, and then they bleeped it.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, was it stupid? Because if it was stupid, why bleep that? And we have not seen the last of them, which we have not. Now we're in the dressing room and Abby is recapping, and Abby says something that literally makes me just furious. She says that Maddie stood on stage and took second place, and she's more of a pro for standing there and taking second than winning.
Everybody stands up there and gets
exactly
second, third, whatever.
But she's more of a pro for taking second, like a winner on the stage. It's hysterical that she finds a way to praise her when anybody else is made to be humiliated. Again, the treatment. And these are the things that I'm pointing out, because that's what was really the things that bothered us.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm chugging from my mommy juice cup.
Yes. You were enjoying whatever was in that cup. I'm assuming it was white wine.
It was white wine. You could tell.
Yeah.
And you really want your kids to be made to feel special or to feel like she cares.
Yes.
And she says that you're enabling stupidity. And I do not like that. You can see my face. I'm like, what do you mean you're enabling stupidity? Kenzie's holding her ears. And then I chime in where I'm like, shut up. You made it through the whole episode and didn't get in any fights. Why are you opening your mouth now? And then I say that they crave her approval. And she says, keep craving it. Other kids want it. Your kids don't. But
did you see Holly there? That?
Yeah. Our kids are the one who gave up their summer. Our kids are the one that never go to a sleepover. Our kids are the one who are standing there and going to school all day and working all night. Like, bullshit. You're saying our kids are the ones who don't want it. Like, they're there. Holly rolls her eyes. And then that's when you say, and this fight pisses me off, so you can go into it. When she says, you want the attention like that Gianna gives Maddie. And she says that they have a special relationship. And then she says, what did you get Gianna for Christmas? Do you want to go?
What does that have to do with anything? Because I don't buy as good of a gift as Melissa. That means my kids shouldn't have the attention. Because Melissa used to buy them like Louis Vuitton purses.
Yes.
Sorry, I could not afford to buy my
dance teacher
a Louis Vuitton purse, but that shouldn't mean that my kid doesn't get the same attention or you don't like my
You're paying the bill.
Like them. Exactly. Always got Abby presents. I might not have got Gianna a Louis Vuitton bag, but basically what she was saying.
Buy better presents.
Yep.
But I remember once the person who was the head of the ALDC like parent committee was out of town. So she asked me to lead the charge in collecting money. It was back when iPod Nanos first came out.
When we got the iPod, yeah.
Yeah,
she never even used it.
Never used it. But do you remember she wanted me to give her a list of parents that contributed?
Yeah.
And I was like, absolutely not. And she's like I want to see a list and how much people contributed. Are you kidding? It's a gift. Say thank you.
Exactly.
So then you say something, I don't know, you drop the F-bomb and then the episode is over. But I hope that people see those little nuances and they're like, oh, because there's clues all through it. But unless you're watching it, you don't know. And then you think you're an idiot or whatever for pulling the solo. Yeah. You think Paige can't dance. You think I'm whatever. Like, that's the shit, because this is the narrative that they push. And then we watch it back and we're like, this is bullshit. This isn't what happened. So how many drinks did you need to get through this one? What was your cocktail scale?
I would say a 6.
Wow. That's a biggie.
That was very stressful for Paige to do that.
Yeah.
I'm surprised she even was like, I'll go along with this, because I don't think not one of those kids would have.
Yeah, no, that was hard. That was definitely hard.
Like that was definitely like a negative to Abby. Like that was like stabbing Abby in the back, saying you're bringing in a new choreographer.
And Paige loved Abby at that point.
From her. Yes. Yeah. So that was very stressful for her. And as you could see, it was stressful for me because I'm looking like a disaster area.
Well,
that's why I looked like a disaster today. See, like I really don't have any makeup or anything on, just mascara. So I look like I did at the competition.
You were just channeling your 2011 Kelly.
Yes.
This was not a hard episode for me. This was actually one of my favorite episodes that I've seen of us so far. So I didn't even need a drink. I know. Trust me, my bad shit's coming. Don't you worry. I will not let you down. Okay. So bottom of the pyramid for outfits or clothes.
Oh my God, definitely that multicolored, whatever that thing was I had on the whole episode.
Okay. I would say I agree with that. I think my shoes get an honorable mention. But yeah, your dress was not my favorite.
I didn't like that girl from Candy Apples. The red.
Oh my God.
I didn't like her outfit either.
The MJ outfit? No.
Yeah,
I would say
I wasn't crazy about that either.
Slightly aggressive. Yeah, that's at the bottom of the pyramid for sure too. And top of the pyramid, I definitely loved your black dress that you're wearing right now. So top of the pyramid.
Okay.
What about favorite lines of the episode?
I have you saying, I guess a girl's got to do what a girl's got to do. And then I also had Holly when she said, at least she's not wearing an afro.
Yeah, that's pretty funny. Oh, I know what my favorite line of the episode is. When you said, I think Kathy's an idiot.
Yeah, I just kind of was blunt about that, right? I
Yeah.
came right out and said how I felt.
I think Kathy's an idiot. I'm like, oh, alrighty then. So yeah, that would probably be my favorite. I'm sure there are other lines, but that one was pretty good. Well, I have a fun story from this episode we'll tell on Patreon because it's like the after hours episode. Okay, so I think that is about it. I guess we're up to 11 next week, which is Nationals.
Yay.
In Tahoe. This will be a fun one. You are recapping. And I mean, anything else? I don't think there's anything else. No. Well, I'm sorry you had a shitty week. I do know that feeling. So I'm so
Yes,
sorry.
I'm glad this week is over.
Yeah. Well, maybe
I seem
next.
to always have a shitty week though. I say that like almost every week. I think 1 week so far I haven't been issues.
We definitely go back and forth for sure.
Yes.
So,
yes.
All right. Well, that is it. We will see you back here next week and we'll catch you on the after party.
All right. Enjoy your week, guys.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks for listening to Back to the Bar.
Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you love to listen to your podcasts.
And check out our YouTube channel, Back to the Bar, if you want to watch the episodes. The channel is linked in our show notes.
And if you want to join our weekly after party,
where we dish even more dirt,
like naked pizza, Kel, subscribe to our Patreon channel at patreon.com/backtothebar. See you next time.
See you next time.